Ethan Hawke is a lifelong sports fan who's always found time to follow his teams. He also took some time out for us, just days before the release of his latest movie, The Purge.
We can enter any home we want, and we will want. Please just let us purge.
Ethan, the new film is The Purge. It's set in 2022, and the United States has undergone some changes.
Some pretty serious changes, yeah.
What attracted you to the role? You read the script, and what appealed to you to do this project?
When I was a kid, I loved science fiction. I don't read much of it anymore. I don't really know why, but I remember my father gave me for Christmas one year all these, this is back when you'd have to record them on the VHS, you know, I mean, he had recorded on the VHS a whole Sunday of Twilight Zone episodes, and I got obsessed with Twilight Zone, and it brought me into all this science fiction. And there's a central idea to The Purge, which is it's this very far-fetched, futuristic idea where rich people are extremely cut off and don't care about the violence that happens to poor people.
So if you felt the need to, you would kill someone tonight?
Look, I know this is difficult to understand at your age, but tonight allows people a release for all the hatred and violence and aggression that they keep up inside them.
I grew up on these action movies too, these kind of fun, you know, John Carpenter made a bunch of them, Assault on Precinct 13, The Thing. There's wonderful movies that on one level you just want to eat some popcorn and you get a great movie. But on another level you can start thinking about it after, like, what was that about? And The Purge is kind of an old-fashioned, what I call smuggler's cinema, which is, on the surface, it's just a really fun way to spend an hour and a half. But it can stand a second viewing because it's actually about something. And if you say, I'm gonna make a movie about gun violence, I all of a sudden don't wanna go. I'm all of a sudden asleep because I feel like somebody has an agenda. They're trying to teach me that I'm a bad person. But if you can tell me a great story that makes me think about those themes and what do I feel about them, that's the job of a good movie.
If The Purge were to happen in professional sports, NBA in particular, how would that work in your mind?
I mean, the trouble with no rules in the basketball court is I don't think they'd ever finish the game. I mean, it would get down to a barroom brawl. It's the rules that keep it surfing, you know? It's the rules that make it fun. It's just always when the rules prevent them from playing, you know? Because we don't, it's, you know, nobody, I think those guys all had a lot of respect for each other ultimately. And, but what would happen? I tell you what, I'd pay money to see it. It'd be fun.
In sports, it often takes another competitor to raise an athlete's level. We've seen it. Magic had Bird. In boxing,
Muhammad Ali is the great example of it.
No doubt about
it. It's tough to be a great champ without fighting great champs.
All right, but now let me ask you, you get in there with Denzel Washington in the training day, and the two of you are at your absolute best in this film. Can you look back on the experience and feel as if you were pushing one another and maybe taking it to different levels based on the chemistry?
I don't know if it's because a lot of young men growing up in this country, I look at everything through the guise of sports, everything in my life. I mean, it drives the women in my life crazy. I mean, like, you know, I don't want to talk to your football coach. How we all got to pull together for the big win.
Right.
You know, but yeah, I remember Denzel talking to me about the person that really pushed him was Gene Hackman, you know, in Crimson Tide. Those guys were amazing in that movie. Denzel is a world-class actor, and there are a lot of world-class actors, but there's only a few world-class actors who are also a genuine movie star. And Denzel is that. And ever since that experience, sometimes I have to push my brain to be like, well, what would, it really sounds absolutely ridiculously corny to say, but you know, how would this set be different if Denzel was here? And one of the things, and I've worked with De Niro too, and you know, De Niro commands the same kind of authority that when they're on set, everybody starts bringing their best game. The costume designer, You know, because in the back of the costume designer's mind, they know, oh, Denzel worked with X person who did the costumes for Malcolm X, and boy, I hope he doesn't think I'm not as talented as that person, you know? And I'm thinking, well, Denzel plows over most actors. How can I not leave this guy alone? In the same way, I'm sure any athlete who plays a team sport, when you are with a player that really excels, you know, I mean, I saw Agassi play Federer, you know, and you see them both rising to the occasion.
When you go to a sporting event, you're an observer of the human quality in everyday life. Can you separate that part of yourself when you're at an event and just immerse yourself in the moment of being a fan, or is there still part of your brain that's taking it in and maybe using it some other time in your own work?
Well, there's no difference to me in that question. I can completely experience it and use it. Sports are the best learning place for me about it, because when you go see, you know, you go see the Knicks play the Bulls or the Pacers or whoever, the Heat, whoever they're going to play, you honestly don't know what's going to happen. This could be the game where Michael Jordan drops 50. This could be the game where so-and-so twists their ankle. This could be, you know, and everything. This could be the game where they get into a fight. This could be the game where they lose by 50. This could be the game that goes to triple overtime. You know, there's that little part of you that feels like you might be watching history.
And the full range of emotions, by the way, too.
All that stuff. And one of the things that is lousy about most movies or plays that you go see is you kind of feel like you know what's going to happen. And there's an energy that I try to channel that I enjoy when I will see Carmelo Anthony play basketball, where he's just completely present in the moment, where nobody has, they don't know what's going to happen next. When a game is going really well, it's just happening. Yeah. And that's what I aspire for in performance.
You're a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
You've been a fixture at Madison Square Garden for many, many years, which meant a lot of theater, because the Knicks have been a big part of that. A little bit of a soap opera. Yeah.
Oh, definitely soap opera.
When you look back on it now, and let's say the Patrick Ewing years as an example, because you experienced them firsthand, is there a sense from fans that maybe they took it for granted?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I wish sometimes there's no doubt. I remember Patrick Ewing missed, I remember it was like, I think it was a Game 7 against Indiana. It was a heartbreaker.
Yeah, missed it.
A little layup.
Spin to the rim.
Why didn't he dunk it? Why didn't he dunk it? You know, see, that's Patrick's problem. What's he shooting? You know, why is he laying it in there? Why didn't he dunk it? And I remember going down to ride the subway the next day, and somebody had spray painted on the wall, "Come on, you guys, Patrick can't do it all." And I'm thinking, amen. You know, the guy had 20-something points and 12 rebounds and 4 assists.
Playing on a bad knee, by the way.
Yeah, blocking 3 shots, giving his all. And I feel like I would love to whisper in Carmelo Anthony's ear, like, don't worry about it. For years, they sweated Patrick Ewing. He's not, you know, he doesn't do enough promo. He doesn't talk to the press enough. He shoots the ball too much. He doesn't shoot it enough. He's not a good enough passer. He has small hands. He has like, you know, I mean, they picked this guy apart. And then he left. And there was nothing. You know, and there was nothing for years. And all of a sudden, you saw people kind of go, "Where's Patrick?" You see, Patrick wouldn't do that. Patrick knows how to lead. You know, Patrick was a warrior. You start, and for the years that he was here, they made such a big deal about whether he was going to do it all and win a championship. And you know, it's a funny thing to say, but I remember the second I knew that the Mavericks were going to beat the Heat is when they asked Jason Kidd, do they think it will reflect poorly on his legacy if he doesn't win a championship? And he said no. And he said, what will reflect poorly on me is if I don't play my best. And I thought, oh, these guys are going to win. See, when you start thinking about your legacy, and you start doing all that, you trip yourself up. You're already in the future. And the thing is, Patrick's legacy is secure. There's only a hand, you know, Bernard, Willis, Patrick, You know, did he win it all? No. If Patrick Riley had stuck around, maybe we would have. But that's every athlete. We're only as good as our community, all of us. We don't ever do anything alone. On his own, he was a world-class athlete, Hall of Famer. That he did on his own. The team wins championships.
Coming up, actor Ethan Hawke on his frozen tundra dream for the Super Bowl.
Football's meant to be a grit and grind sport. I want to see the Super Bowl in the snow. I want to see people diving to catch it. I mean, that'd be my dream.